Shout out to Julian Banks. Yes, sir. And I am Big Snoop Dogg.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like casual, easygoing because he's stoned, but like he's very on top of his shit. Like,
very on top.
No, Snoop has always been, I feel like he's very methodical the way he thinks. People think that, you know, he smokes a lot of weed, he doesn't think, but he really is in depth.
Complete clarity, and also like his team, like his son Cordell, who's 21, but like guides his entire trajectory, completely on top of the Web3 stuff. But all right, welcome to After Hours. We got another amazing episode with Tai, who, can you hear me right now? All good. Good friend, but also a business leader, celebrity real estate agent to the stars, involved in Web3, all different verticals and sectors. But how did you get started? What's your origin story?
Well, first off, I feel like doing this, like when you say celebrity realtor,
dude, you
or
gotta
any of that
have the
shit, like
intro,
it's like
though.
whatever. Yeah, I get it, but like it's so corny when people say they're celebrity anything. It's either you're known for what you're good at or you're not. That's how I feel. But, you know, there's some cornball agents out there that have to take the name celebrity this. Like, dude, are you good at your job or do you need to have that title? I don't know. But answering your question, how did I get involved in it? It's a long story, man. It was a female that got me into it.
It's the best way to start.
Not really. Not when you're like 18 years old and you're dating this girl that's younger and you know, like did some stuff and ended up hanging out with the dad and made me go to work with him. And I learned all about real estate for that summer of being 18 and almost in jail.
So he took you under his wing, essentially.
I mean, it was more really underneath his like headlock, you know, like, you know, you're coming with me. You kid, you're not going to have a summer. You're going to go to work with me. So I did that and ended up learning the business, learning facets of the mortgage industry and how realtors make their money, and saw that it was easy, quick money. So I took that opportunity and got my license.
Did you get your license within that year, or was it?
Hell no, dude. Hell no. I worked that company for multiple years, and then by, I think, 20, so 2 years after, I got my license. And what happened was there was a guy named Tony Ravella, Fortune 1. It was a mortgage broker, and he was picking up a check for an agent, and it was $28,000. And I said, whoa, dude. So imagine being a young kid, you know, under 20, and seeing that kind of money, right? So a person like myself, high school, fucking around, and now, you know, wanted to become a professional skateboarder and then had to go to work with this guy so I could stay out of jail kind of thing, then learning the business, and then seeing all this money kind of flash. And the guy pulls up in a brand new Aston Martin, and I'm like, bro, you're not that much older than me. What are we doing here? You know, you're picking up checks for agents, and you're the mortgage broker. How much are you making? You know, I think that one was like Option Arms back in the day, which was, you know, like a tier structure of a flexible rate. And he made like 40 grand on that deal. It was insane. But the agent made less than him. But, you know, the agent was closing all his deals, and he was making his money, and he was, you know, basically catering to these agents. So, you know, I just from there, I said, okay, well, all you do is show houses and you make money. Sounds stupid. You know, and somehow, I mean, it sounds stupid, but yes, as a stupid kid that messed around all the time, it seemed like a perfect fit.
It just seems like that's the perfect way to kind of like exponentially accumulate wealth, as opposed to like getting into, I don't know, just like a standard job. But you achieved success at a super young age. Like at 21, you had a black card, right? That was.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not even really just it, dude. I had lots of successes early on. I was an entrepreneur from day one, right? Yeah. So, I mean, from having a welding company inside my workshop at school to building skateboard rails and selling them to skate shops to, you know, getting invested into stocks, right, where I was still connected to my parents' account, using money I made from the entertainment industry at an early age at 14 to making hundreds of thousands of dollars before I even graduated, to buying 2 brand new cars before I even graduated. I mean, it's a real story. Yeah. AMG, Mercedes, SLK with Bravos wheels, a race car that I had to park down the street because I was scared to tell my mom I bought another car and I wasn't even graduated out of high school. I used to like hide that car, but the car was, it was orange. So, I mean, it was an orange race car. It was really dope. I think I spent 30 grand on it, all because I could.
I love that. What was, how did you kind of maintain that motivation too? Like getting success at such a young age. I can see a lot of people kind of just resting on their laurels and be like, all right, I'm kind of set right now. But what kind of kept leveling up for you?
Not caring enough. Like just wanting what I wanted out of life, right? I think that life is surreal, can be taken at any moment. And I feel like I just wanted the most out of life, right? It's like, you know what it's like to take the biggest deep breath of air, but you have the option. You could take shallow breaths, or you can take, medium breaths, or you can take it all in and feel what that's like. I wanted it all, man. So when I went out there in the work field, I made sure I dibble-dabbled in everything and found out what my passion was and what was good at, and that was sales. It didn't matter if it was real estate, if it was selling skateboard handrails, or selling shoes off my feet at whatever, 15 years old. And that's a true story, by the way. I used to sell fake oregano and call it weed in high school. I didn't even know what weed was.
I did that too, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
I mean,
or maybe I bought oregano instead.
Maybe I sold it too. I don't know. I was a distributor.
Yeah.
All right, guys, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. And right now, for our listeners, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. It's fantasy sports made easy. Get ready to revolutionize your fantasy football experience with the ultimate platform for hassle-free fantasy gaming. Whether you're a seasoned pro or new player, Prize Picks simplifies the game, making it accessible for everyone. It allows you to first pick your players, choose your favorite stars for upcoming games, and predict their performance. The ultimate platform for hassle-free fantasy gaming.
I mean, it was, you know what? Either you're a winner in life or you're not. Like either you have it, you know what you're going to be. Like let's put it this way, right? A lion in the jungle knows it's going to run a kingdom, right? Or not. So it's like you're born with it. You're going to be born to be a winner and survive, or you're not. It's called social Darwinism, and I really, really stand behind that word and use it in my own life.
How did you build that initial network? Because, real estate's obviously contingent upon building that clientele.
Well, first off, it wasn't easy building anything, right? You have to understand like where entertainers, what they need, which is the baller lifestyle, but how are you going to go and meet these people? How are business managers going to take you seriously to give you the opportunity to work with their clients? You're young, you're 20 years old, 21 years old. How are you going to get them to use you, right? Like, you think you're some hotshot kid that we should use you when I can use this agent that's been in the business for 30 years and you're going to use a stupid kid? I mean, you had to show a lifestyle that you could maintain with them, which at the time, I mean, I could. Because I told you I had my cards and whatnot. So I also, which I think we're missing from that story, is I also dabble in stocks. I think from like 20 grand, I hit like $250,000 too. So like, there's a reason. I was betting in penny stocks, believe it or not, and
some Jordan Belfort kind of stuff.
Stupid shit. Let me tell you something. So I mean, I was so lucky that my stockbroker was it Samuel. What was his name? It was like two names that was like one name. It was like Samuel Edwards. I don't know how you put it, but anyways, I was so lucky that he was buying everything I was buying, and I was telling him all these stupid moves and things I was buying. It was so ridiculous, right? Lockheed Federal Credit Union, and I was using their stock system, and I was executing orders, which I don't know how because I was just a fuck up, really, but a fuck up with a lot of lucky hands, and I ended up hitting, I want to say like 175, and then I went up to like $250,000
from 20K.
Yeah, 25.
Jeez,
yeah,
dude.
So this is another reason why I could afford all the nicest things. Yeah. When I bought my Mercedes, it was $64,000, paid cash for it.
Jeez.
So the stories that I'm telling you, maybe because I don't know if I care enough about it, I'm always thinking about the next biggest thing. And yes, it is my life. Yes, I did have a Black American Express at 21. Before it was actually a metal card. It was a plastic card. A lot of people didn't know that change. I remember when American Express sent me the card, they sent me Lisa Marie Presley's card by mistake. And I took a picture of that because I thought it was so like crazy. Like, you sent me her black card. Yeah, she got way more wealth than me. So I'm sure I have it still. Yeah. But, there's a lot of loops, not just say loops, but I guess holes in my story, because a lot of stuff I leave out is maybe it's not super important to me. Maybe the viewers, it would be important. But what I will say this is I've had a really good ride, and I've made a lot of really great friends. I partied really hard. And, now I'm in my 40s and I'm enjoying
Still party
life.
just as hard, I feel like.
I don't think so, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't think anybody can party that hard and go to different countries and do all different types of drugs and, enjoy life. I think out of my business partner at the time, I think he partied a little bit too hard. So I think he's partying in heaven at this point. My assistant, he's partying in heaven, and I'm still here. So I think I had to clean my shit up.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm not partying as hard. Could I? I don't think so, because now I'm I really enjoy sleep while I'm working out and, the slower parts of life, which I don't know if that comes in the 40s, but it's working out for me.
How has your appetite for risk changed, though, as you've gotten older? Because I feel like you look at people like Michael Rubin, who, went bankrupt a few times early in his 20s, starting out, and had this big appetite for risk. Dana White, coming up, kind of risking on UFC. Have you changed risk factors, or what's that threshold like for you?
No, I'm making more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But what I am doing differently, though, is I'm being way more silent about it. So, as I'm looking at my safe yesterday, I'm looking at all the dope watches I have, the stacks of cash, the poker chips I have, the hard drives I have, all these amazing things that I actually have. Yeah. The watches, the 20K watches that you're buying from crypto.
What's your favorite? Richard Mille, or what do you?
To be honest with you, the classic Rolex. I'm really actually just,
I have that, yeah.
This is a Frank Sinatra edition, basically. It's all
clean,
solid
yeah.
gold. But I have the Cartiers, bust downs, and bullshit, whatever. You want to be a famous rapper and you act like you have money. You want to know what real money is? When you have it and you don't have to fucking floss it. Yeah. So I look at all my rapper friends, and you're flossing all this fucking jewelry that I have in my safe. You know how rich that is? When you don't have to flex it.
Yeah, definitely saw a lot of that at the Soulja Boy party that we went to.
I didn't see any of that shit because I was working it. And
to
be honest with you,
I barely saw you then, yeah.
Yeah, I was actually on real medication, not the kind of drugs you want to be on. I just got out of a hernia operation days prior, and I was throwing this massive party. I'm like, yeah, hernia operation can't be that bad, and whatever, you're going to be sore. The doctor's like, yeah, you can't do a party. I'm like, well, I'm not going to cancel the party.
You're throwing the party, yeah.
And I'm throwing the party, but notice how you didn't really see my name on anything. It's just you don't see my logos on much. You see the Alice logo on. I don't even think I did it last year. I'm not even sure if I did or not. But yes, I did. That last year I did.
It was just a bunch of people wearing the hat that I saw.
Yeah, probably.
That they're
who knows?
But, yeah.
But to be honest with you, now with the parties and stuff, I just really like to be behind the scenes. I really don't even want to rep myself like that. I don't really need to be out of it, dude. Like when you're coming up and you're insecure and you want to feel like you have to be something, I get it. That's what LA is based on. It's like trying to keep up the Joneses. I've been there, done that. But when you become yourself, you don't have to keep up with anybody. You got to keep up with yourself. Like, how the fuck do you feel today? And I ask myself that constantly. How do I feel? Do I feel good? Should I go to the gym? Should I sit in my car where the heater's on? It feels good. Should I get that extra set? Like, I do what things that make me happy, not because I have to rely on somebody else to give me approval if I should be happy. So once you start becoming yourself, you start seeing your self-worth. And are you a good person? Are you giving back?
What makes you happy now business-wise? Is Al's platform, is that what's on your mind mainly, or what are you working on?
To me, and I was telling Chrissy sitting over there, I said, think of everything as a chessboard, right? Yeah. You got pieces on the board, and you got to know how to move those pieces. Your net worth is your network is your net worth, right? So if you don't know how to move these pieces, for instance, like with you and Snoop and getting him in the studio, you have 10 minutes with them. Can you give me this little quick hook? That hook might go viral, might be your number one song, and it was done on a whim. Some of the best songs are done like that. And I think you've seen it before, where an artist comes in, lays some bars, and you're like, holy shit, like that was dope. Next thing you know, you put it out, and it's like a greatest hits.
So true. But it's also like figuring the whole system out, like in the beginning, where it was like getting the rights to songs as well. Like I would be in the studio, get a hit, like a hook from somebody, and then you have to go through their entire, system and
clearance bullshit.
agents. It was yeah. So it's like, oh, I've got a hit, but now I got to wait a year to get through clearance and attorneys and all that kind of stuff. So.
And the fad might change, and maybe it's not so hip.
That's so true. Yeah, because when we did that song that was playing before, it was like that. Like trap was like super in then, and it still kind of is. But now I probably would have done more of like a pop kind of song with Snoop.
Snoop Dogg, dude. He's relevant.
Yeah, regardless of what he's on, it'll be good.
He's fucking relevant. Okay, he's Snoop Dogg. He built the brand correctly.
Oh, that's insane. Yeah. Are you still involved in TV? Because you did Love and Listings, right?
I did that. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put out a new series. It's going to be in Atlanta. We don't have the name selected. Mm-hmm. A lot of politics with TV. And the problem is, it's just because you think you're going to narrate the story because you produce it, you create it, doesn't necessarily end up like that. It's kind of like you in music, right? You got A&Rs, and then you got people making notes and saying, okay, I don't like it like this. Could you change the 808 drums, make them, whatever it's going to be. I don't know shit about music like that, but I'm just saying you have people on a higher level of the platform that say, no, this is not the narration. You're going to go fight with this person. You're going to, you can get mad on this person, but all that stuff is pre-narrated. It's a fucking big script. Really. But there's levels to that script. So reality TV, what you think it is, it's not really. It's all narrated. It's just that people narrate these stories. It's almost like a prediction at that point. So the whole season for a TV show was already pre-written. Suge, you're going to get in a fight with this person, right? He's like, well, it's like, fuck, I'm not. But it's a producer's job to make sure we follow that narration. It's like following the Bible at that point. Yeah. You want to see something happen, watch the Bible, and the people are going to make sure they manifest that to actually happen. That's TV for you. It's called guided experience or something.
So the Michael Blackson episode that was planned, where it was, I want a side chick friendly house.
You know what? He was actually on. I forgot. To be honest with you, I didn't even watch that show. I produced the shit out of it, and after I threw up my hands in the show, just because when I found out that things were not going to be the way I envisioned it, which was making sure that African American people could show the affordability that they could buy houses versus showing that they could rent. I didn't like what the showrunners were doing with it, and it was a big fight with me. And I think that when I started looking at the chain of command, right, you always got to look at the chain of command. It's kind of like the book Art of War, right? You always, if the army fails, who's at fault? It's obviously the chief and the colonels and whoever are in charge, right? So I looked at the Viacom process and I said, who's running this shit? And when I saw that you have only white people hanging out at the top that are making the final decisions, they're not gonna make necessarily the best cultural decision because it's not embedded with them, right? So this is what I'll say, and this is what it really is like. If you go into a sushi restaurant and you see Latin or white people making your rolls, you're going to feel a certain way, right? Well, if we have something that's supposed to be cultural, then you're going to want somebody to be from that culture.
It's authentic, yeah.
Yeah, right? So I just don't feel that maybe they had the best interest of certain cultures in that. And you can't cancel me, by the way, because I have too much fucking money. but you can have something, you can have a rebuttal to that. Yeah. And something that really upset me too, that I noticed is when the Black Lives Mattered, right? When we were doing this, it had COVID, and then Black Lives came out, and there was all these different movements. Something that I thought was really kind of disgusting is all these big companies are putting out millions of dollars, right, to support African American people, but Viacom only put out, that I saw, right, $2 million. You're talking about $1 billion company, and that's all you're going to put out because it's a hey, get you the fuck out of here kind of thing. $2 million ain't shit, dude.
That's crazy.
My good friend put out $50 million, and he's not Viacom. So, and he did it for a children's hospital. So it just was distasteful. I thought that if you're making money off certain cultures, you should definitely do better.
Yeah.
And I'm not bitter. I'm just speaking the facts.
And with the current climate of real estate, where do you see, is this a buyer's market right now, or like, how are you viewing this with interest rates? It's
definitely becoming one. We have been dormant because of the rates for so long.
Yeah.
Rates have went from 4%. Actually, let's get honest here. It was 2.9%.
That was like 2022, early 2022, right?
It was 2021.
Yeah.
Going up. And this is what happened. Investors started wanting to make money. And I couldn't blame them. I mean, when you put money up, how are you going to make, CD money at that point, right? Who wants to get 3% on their money when they're putting out hundreds of millions of dollars? They want to make serious returns because these investors have big pools and investors under their investors, right? So it started growing 4%, slowly going up 5%. Then from 5%, it went up to like 7%. Maybe we just skipped skipped 6 all the way. And then it went from 6 to like 7, 8, 9. Yeah. It was like the like we're playing the piano or something. It was just all the way up. It was insane. So what I will say is that the market went soft, but not so much in the property values because the property value is more leveled out. It's just that people were sitting on the sidelines saying, should I buy? Should I not buy? What am I going to do? And I don't think anybody's ever seen this market because I've never personally seen it. In the 3 years in business, I've never seen what this looked like until now. And I will say that, with the Feds talking about the rate reductions, I've seen a little bit. We're right now at 7.2, 7.3, and it's moving down. But is it great? I think it's a start. I think that before whoever the president gets elected, I think we'll be probably in the 5s.
Yeah, I mean, I was just debating about whether, again, like I was in escrow on a property for 1.7, 2022, and the rates were like 3%. And then I didn't know if I could get enough money rental income to cover the mortgage. So I backed out and then the rates just skyrocketed. So I'm just trying to figure out like the best time to get in. Do you think that would be even just getting in now and then refinancing later, or what's the best way for someone now to get in?
Well, if you're going to buy an investment first off,
like a rental property,
you need to look for deals, right? Yeah. You got to do add value. Add value is you're buying a property where if you put some money into it, it's going to go up, appreciate because you're added the value there. But you also want to get into like certain school districts, which is super important because you don't want to be specific to one buyer. You want to be specific to, families that could possibly buy the property. And first off, like when I buy properties, I look at for like blue ribbon schools. If you don't know what that is, blue ribbon schools are school districts that have state funding that give it the credibility to be almost like a private school, right?
Like a Harvard Westlake, or is Harvard Westlake private or is it?
I think that's private, dude.
Okay.
I'm talking about like Oak Park right here, right?
Got
Oak
it.
Park is a blue ribbon school, and it's most of the teachers are provided with a certain amount of computers, and the students can use those computers for free on the state's dime. So academically they're rated some of the best schools. So it's very important to buy in the right area. I think that Hollywood's getting a little soft. The rental income on there is terrible.
Really?
Yeah,
Like Hollywood Hills, like
I don't think it's great. I mean, it used to be.
that's where I was looking, but it was like a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, $7,500 was my mortgage. So I was like, I don't think I can get that rental income.
Because
they usually say it's like $5,000 per million of the house. Is that?
It depends. Listen, It depends on who your agent is and can you get the money. I mean, we just rented a property to Blueface, right? Yeah. I rented a property to Soldier. It depends. It's like if you can make the deal work and say they don't want to show their credit and they want to pay more for it because they want to get in, and they don't care because it's a tax write-off for them, whatever, because they're using it for a studio, whatever it is, right? Yep. It's your agent and the connections that agent has. That's where you're going to get your value. That's why it's so important to work with people that really have skill sets, and first off, sales 101. Second off, do you know what kind of property it is, where you're living, all this stuff. People have to know value. They have to know the value, why they're going to be in an area. Hollywood Hills, is it getting robbed a lot now? Is it like Beverly Hills? Is it a good community? Is it safe? You can go to the Valley, and for the same price, you're getting something double the size. Yeah. In a gated community.
Yeah, that's true. And then for you guys, for agents of LA, like because you have a massive team right now, right?
I wouldn't say massive, but we're boutique. And I think I'm going to keep it that way. I like to put, my agents first. I don't like to have people that just, feel like they're left hanging dry. When I was growing up in this business, I didn't really have that support team. Yeah. I had to learn it myself, and I was scared to talk to my managers in the offices, and there was always some kind of authority. So with my company, there is no authority like that. There is friends helping friends and teamwork.
And then for you, for content creation, like, are you, with everything you're doing with Project, can you talk more about that?
Project.
Yeah, project.
Project. I mean, there's two different kinds of projects. Project as our like Soho House.
The one without vowels, yeah.
Yeah. You know, we created a space that's like a safe haven for not just celebrities, but for our friends that want to stay private and want to have a place to hang out. And a lot of times people don't want to come to people's houses because it's too intimate, right? But maybe they just don't want a lot of people in their house and they don't want that energy absorbed. So Project for us was like a safe haven for a bunch of our friends to come hang out and have a good time and just be creative. You know, I mean, we shot something a week ago there, and I think it's going to come out really amazing. And just, it was friends getting together and having good times. Michael Harris, Harry O popped in. We had Tyler Yahweh. We had Tyron Woodley. We had Evan Rosenblum. And just Natasha Graziano. She's huge. She's 12 million plus followers. But it was just friends hanging out and shooting some content, and we shot something really dope. And that's the concept of what Project really is. It's just friends getting together to come up with dope concepts, and we critique them internally, and then, you know, out comes whatever comes.
Nice. Is Web3 a central theme in a lot of that? Because when I went there, it was like a lot of NFT projects that were happening. Like, are you still involved in the NFT world, or is it transitioning more AI, or what's?
You know, I think I'm not really transitioning anything. I'm just learning lots of stuff. You know, I'm a deep diver, and I think that Web3 is cool. I think it's always going to be great. I think it was a little bit of a fad for a lot of people, but I mean, for me, you know, because I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in that world, I feel like I know it inside and out, and I'm still learning. I still have friends with a ton of coders, and you know, some of the people that built our marketing mint pages and stuff like that, you know, they were learning. Mm-hmm. But no, we don't really cater just to that, even though we have people from the CloneX world and people from the Bored Apes and the Pudgy Penguins and whatnot, right? It's for us, it's just friends again. It's not just, it's a community base. You know, that's what Project was built for. It was community based, but it's really just transitioning to friends, being with friends, and coming up with cool ideas. That's how amazing things happen. You know, it's like when you come up with, like, for instance, Chris Lee came up with CloneX, right? It was 3 of his friends, and they sold that company for an insane amount of money. But it was friends that had some dope ideas, and they came together and made a piece of art, and they sold it. You know, and that's what happened. I mean, you've seen what they've done. I can't even say the numbers, but they're big boy numbers.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, how do you balance that with, like, because it seems a lot of personal relationships involved in the business side too. Like, are you balancing that personal, working with friends, as well as business relationships, so you don't sour one or the other?
I mean, listen, every day is a relationship with life. So, you know, it's people come and go, and just, there's no sour nothing. If you find people interesting, you're going to listen to them, and if you're interesting yourself, people are going to listen to you. That's it, man. Yeah.
And where do you see yourself, I guess, 5 years from now? What is Tai going to be doing?
Probably in a grave. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm just joking. Who knows? I really just, I mean, not that I'm manifesting that, but I would say in five years, you know, most people say they want to be rich and successful and stuff like that. I think I just want to find ultimate happiness, and, you know, and just have a clear mind, if anything. That's it.
Nice. I think you're on that path.
Drugs.
Yeah. Nice. Well, where can people find you?
Hopefully nowhere, because what Chrissy said to me, she's like, Tai, you don't really post or anything like that. I mean, I do, just because I want to stay relevant, but...
Oh, yeah, you've got like 9 posts on Instagram. But like,
yeah, I did that on purpose.
They're quality posts, but...
No, who cares about that shit? Like, honestly, I think what it comes down to is not really having to put yourself out there. Yeah. And it's really being comfortable where you're at.
So, you don't need to flex or anything. You've got all the contacts you need, but...
Yeah, you could flex if you want to, if that's who you are, and you should, if that's what you're trying to promote. But 310 Agent is my handle, and that's it. Actually, I told my friend Tyron Will, I said, could you do me a favor? I said, when I post, please don't retag me. And I said, because like not everything's for you. I mean, I know you're my bro and everything, like I love you to death, but I don't want always that association like that. I want you to be you, and I'm going to be me, but because I support you and things that you're in, you don't have to do it. You know, like
He probably respects that more.
No, I literally told him today that because it's like, I don't want people knowing that we're so close like that. Like, I appreciate you from afar. Like, I could be watching a show and see one of my friends on there. Sometimes I just want to be a fan of your stuff. And you just appreciate, you know, who you are and what you've done versus that intimate, like, we're friends, we're family. Like, if I listen to some of your music and I was rocking in the car, you know, it's like, you don't, just because I listen to your music, you know, and I say, this is dope, Julian, I love your stuff. I don't feel obligated that you have to post because I'm just a fan, just loves your music, right? Just
they
like
they probably respect that, especially with real estate. They want that privacy. They don't want an agent that's like posting all the time about them, right?
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, it's just, you know, I want them to know, like, hey, listen, I like your work, and that's it, man.
Yeah,
good job, you know.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Let's do this,
and let's drink some more.
Let's go.
Shout out to Julian Banks. Yes, sir. And I am Big Snoop Dogg.